Alright, here's a scenario. You have a file containing names of all the employees in a company and you want to check whether a particular employee, say David, is there in the file or not. Or you have a huge dump of server logs and want to check the presence of a suspicious IP address. Or find out all the outgoing connections from a TCP dump stream capturing live network traffic. Now there are many tools in Linux to help you in such scenario, but Grep should be your first choice when dealing with any kind of search. It is one of the most powerful and versatile tool and is often called the Swiss Army knife for handling searches. The immense utility and ease of use of Grep have even inspired the development of new tools like Grep AI, designed to perform Grep-like searches for AI-driven code bases. So hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to XPS Tech, and in today's video, we'll check out Grep, an immensely powerful tool which, if you have it in your arsenal, doing searches will be an absolute fun. So let's start. So Grep stands for Global Regular Expression Print. When you run the Grep command, under the hood, the tool matches search text with every word in the file, going line by line, and on successful match, it gives the output based on user-defined parameters. The syntax of Grep command is quite simple. It is grep dash options, search text under double quotes, and then the input file, which is the file to search. For example, if you want to check if David is there in the employee file, the command is grep-ni or some options. We'll get to the list of all the options in a bit. Then the search text, which is David under double quotes, and then the name of the file, which here is employee.txt. So this is an example of grep command. Alright, now let's look at all the individual component of the command one by one, starting with the options. Now, options are where all the power of this command lies, and there are plenty available. If you look at the man page of the grep command, you'll see an endless list of options. But you don't need to learn each and every option at the beginning. I think initially start with the most common options first to get you going. And as you become more and more comfortable, you can gradually explore the more advanced options. These are all the options available. Now, the way I like to learn these options is to follow some sort of sequence or structure or logic to make it easier to remember. So for grep, you can visualize it as starting from the outside or bigger items and gradually moving inside to smaller items. Now what I mean by that is we start from the options related to files or directories, and then inside a file there are lines of text. So we move to line-based options. And then each line is made up of words or text. So next come text-based options. I hope this makes sense. If not, feel free to make your own logic, whatever help you to remember these options. Alright, so we'll start with the files or directory-based options, covering specifically the most common options in the order of their popularity. For file, there are two common options. Uppercase H, which is used to print name of the file along with the match text on successful match. Now this is mostly used when you give multiple files as input. Here I have two files, firstname.txt and lastname.txt, and when I use dash capital H option, we get the name of the file in the input along with the match text. Next is lowercase f, which allows us to give a complete file containing multiple search text, one word per line, rather than giving one single search text. So here for demonstration, I have created a file with two names, David and Robin, and let's use dash lowercase f and the file. This will perform the search for both the names which are there in the file and give us the correct output. For directories, the most common options are lowercase r and uppercase r. Lowercase is for recursive search and the uppercase r is for recursive search with symbolic links. So let's do a recursive search in the folder names by using the lowercase r option. This conducted search in all files and folders except the link folder. Now let's do the same search with the capital R option. This time it has run the search in files under the web server log folder as well. Alright, now let's move to the options related to lines in a file. Now the most widely used option here is lowercase n, which is used to show line numbers whenever there is a successful match. Lowercase c is for count, which denotes the total matching lines. X is used to match the whole line. So only the line having this exact search text, for example, David, will be matched. If there's any extra word or character in that line, it will be rejected. Apart from these, there's also uppercase A, B, and C with the number, which is used to get number of lines before, after, or around a successful match. Alright, now the last are the options related to words in a line. The most common option here is lowercase I, which is used to ignore case. By default, grep is case sensitive, so David with capital D is not the same as David with lowercase d. W matches the whole word, similar to X, which matches the whole line. W matches the whole word. So if the search text is David, then david@gmail.com will not be matched. Alright, lowercase e option is used when we want to specify multiple search texts. For example, we want to search for two texts, David and Robin. So we use -e David and -e Robin. This will conduct two searches, one for David and the other for Robin. Lowercase o is another common option, which is used to print only the matched text as output. The last common word-based option is lowercase v, which is for invert match. So our multiple search text file has two words, David and Robin, and if I use -v option with the search text David, the output will be all the text inside the file that doesn't match the word David. So in our case, as the file contains only two words, the output is Robin. Alright, so these were the most widely used options of grep. The options are usually used in combination, and the most widely used combination is -lowercase I, ni, vi, hni, and rni. Alright, now let's move to the second component of the command syntax, which is the search text. Now this is pretty basic. Here, enter the text you want to search for under double quotes. However, apart from the basic search text, grep also provides the power of regular expression, which you can use to fine-tune the search text. Regular expression sounds very jargonish, but it's actually really simple. You can basically add symbols along with the search text to minutely define your requirement. Now here are all the symbols used in regular expression. Period symbol denotes any single character. A.C can be A B C, A C C, A A C, or any such combination. Up arrow is used for start of line. Similarly, a dollar symbol denotes end of line. Star symbol means 0 or more of previous character. Square brackets denotes character class. So the characters which are there in the square brackets can be used in any combination. Backslash is the escape characters. So /dot will be taken as literal dot, not the period symbol that denotes any single character. Alright, now the last component is the input file. Here you can give the exact file name or a directory with star to include all the files or directories inside. Also, that was all about the grep command. Now let's quickly do an exercise to check your understanding. We'll go through some of the common real-world use case of grep command and try to understand what the command actually means. Here's the first grep command. Now you can pause the video if you want and go through the command and all the options given and try to find out the correct answer. Lowercase v is for invert match. The regular expression in the search is the lines that start with the hash symbol. So here the answer is display lines that do not start with hash. Alright, now the next command. This is pretty simple. The answer is B. It will find all the lines where root appears as the whole word. If we had lowercase x, that will find all the lines where the root appears as the whole line. Alright, now the third example. Now this is really common for IP related searches. The answer is C, IPv4 addresses in the log file. Now let's move to the example number 4. Feel free to pause the video and take your own time. So the answer is A, searches recursively for error, ignore case and show line numbers. Alright, now here's the last command. And this is also pretty simple. It will search for permit root login and shows the matching line numbers. The N here is used to output the matching line number. Alright, so that was all about the grep command. Thank you all for watching this video. If you get value from this video, consider subscribing to XPS Tech. I'm planning to make more such explainer videos in future, so stay tuned. Alright, so thank you again for watching and I'll see you next time.